Upgrading a 100 amp main service panel to a 200 amp panel involves more than simply replacing the main breakers. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates a thorough evaluation of the entire electrical system to ensure it can handle the increased current safely. This includes the service conductors, the grounding system, branch circuit wiring, and panel bus bars. Simply swapping out the 100 amp breakers for 200 amp breakers is insufficient and potentially dangerous. The existing service conductors, which are the wires bringing power into the panel, might not be rated to carry 200 amps. These conductors will likely need to be replaced with larger gauge wires capable of handling the increased current load. Failure to do so can result in overheating, insulation damage, and potentially electrical fires. The grounding system is another critical component that needs upgrading. It ensures that fault currents are safely directed to the ground, protecting people from electrical shock. The existing grounding system for a 100 amp service may not be adequate for a 200 amp service. Upgrading might involve installing a new ground rod, or increasing the size of the existing grounding wires to meet the code requirements for a 200 amp service. The branch circuit wiring, which runs from the panel to individual outlets and appliances, might also need to be evaluated. While not all branch circuits will require upgrading, some circuits with higher loads might need to be upgraded to handle the increased available current. This would involve replacing the existing wiring with thicker gauge wire. The existing electrical meter may not be adequate. Electrical meters are designed to measure the amount of electricity consumed. A meter designed for a 100 amp service might not accurately measure the higher current flow of a 200 amp service. The utility company might require the meter to be replaced with a larger one to accommodate the increased current flow. The physical size of the existing panel might also be a limiting factor. A 100 amp panel might not have enough physical space to accommodate the additional breakers needed for a 200 amp service. Upgrading to a larger panel might be necessary to provide enough space for all the required breakers and wiring. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician. Upgrading an electrical service is a complex and potentially dangerous task. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform the upgrade safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. An electrician can assess the existing electrical system, determine the necessary upgrades, and perform the work in a safe and professional manner. Ignoring these aspects could lead to serious consequences, including electrical fires, equipment damage, and personal injury. The National Electrical Code sets the standard for safe electrical installations. Firstly, ensure the new service panel is properly rated for 200 amps. This means the panel's main bus bars and internal components are designed to handle the continuous load of 200 amps. Secondly, verify the service entrance cable, or SEC, is appropriately sized. For a 200 amp service, you'll typically need a minimum of 4/0 copper or 250 aluminum conductors, but always refer to the NEC Table 310.15b16 for accurate sizing based on conductor type and insulation. Thirdly, the grounding system must be upgraded. This usually involves an 8-foot ground rod and a properly sized grounding electrode conductor, or GEC, connecting the panel to the rod. Again, refer to NEC Table 250.66 for GC sizing. Fourthly, ensure all branch circuit breakers are correctly sized for their respective circuits. Overamping breakers can lead to overheating and fires. Fifthly, check that all wiring is in good condition with no frayed insulation or loose connections. Replace any damaged wiring before energizing the new panel. Sixthly, label all circuits clearly and accurately in the new panel. This makes troubleshooting and future work much easier. Seventhly, torque all connections to the manufacturer's specifications. Loose connections are a major cause of electrical problems. Eighthly, after installation, test all circuits to ensure proper voltage and polarity. A multimeter can be used for this purpose. Ninthly, obtain the necessary permits and inspections from your local authority. This ensures the work is done to code and is safe. Tenthly, if you're uncomfortable with any of these steps, hire a qualified electrician. Electricity is dangerous and mistakes can be fatal. In summary, upgrading from a 100 amp service to a 200 amp service requires a comprehensive assessment and upgrade of multiple components, not just the main breakers. This ensures the electrical system can safely and reliably handle the increased load. It is highly recommended to consult with a qualified electrician. The NEC requires that all electrical work be performed by qualified individuals who are familiar with the code and have the necessary skills and experience. Attempting to perform this work yourself can be dangerous and illegal. Electrical systems are designed to operate within specific parameters. Overloading the system can lead to overheating, insulation breakdown, and ultimately, electrical fires. Electrical fires are a leading cause of property damage and injuries. Grounding systems play a critical role in electrical safety. A properly installed grounding system provides a path for fault currents to flow safely to the ground, protecting people from electrical shock. Meter sockets are designed to accommodate specific sizes and types of meters. Replacing the meter socket might be necessary to ensure it is compatible with the new meter. Panel size limitations can affect the number of circuits that can be installed in the panel. A larger panel provides more space for breakers and wiring, making it easier to add new circuits in the future. Working with electricity can be dangerous if you are not properly trained and equipped. Always take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Always turn off the power to the circuit you are working on. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Never work on electrical equipment in wet conditions. Electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving. It is important to stay up to date on the latest codes and regulations to ensure your electrical work is safe and compliant. Firstly, consider the existing load calculations. Evaluate all the existing loads in the home, including lighting, appliances, and outlets, to determine the total demand. This will help determine if a 200 amp service is truly necessary or if a smaller upgrade would suffice. Secondly, evaluate future load requirements. Consider any potential future electrical needs, such as adding an electric vehicle charger, a hot tub, or a home addition. Planning for these future loads now can prevent the need for another upgrade later. Thirdly, check the utility company requirements. Contact the local utility company to determine their requirements for upgrading the service. They may have specific regulations regarding meter size, service entrance location, and grounding. Fourthly, assess the existing service entrance location. Evaluate the location of the existing service entrance to ensure it is suitable for the new 200 amp service. Factors to consider include accessibility, clearance requirements, and proximity to the electrical panel. Fifthly, check for any local code restrictions. Be aware of any local code restrictions or requirements that may affect the upgrade. Some jurisdictions may have specific rules regarding the type of wiring allowed, the location of the service entrance, or the type of grounding system required. Sixthly, obtain necessary permits and inspections. Obtain all necessary permits and inspections from the local building department before starting any work. This will ensure that the upgrade is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes. Seventhly, hire a qualified electrician. Hire a qualified electrician to perform the upgrade. An electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform the work safely and in compliance with all applicable codes. Eighthly, ensure proper grounding. Ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and connected. The grounding system is a critical safety feature that protects people from electrical shock. Ninthly, use quality materials. Use only high-quality materials that are approved for use in electrical installations. This will ensure that the upgrade is durable and reliable. Tenthly, test the installation. After the upgrade is complete, test the installation to ensure that it is working properly. This includes checking the voltage, current, and grounding. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Always turn off the power to the circuit you are working on and use insulated tools. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a set of standards for safe electrical installations. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it is important to stay up to date on the latest codes and regulations. Understanding the NEC is important for safe electrical work. Electrical codes are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Following the NEC ensures that electrical installations are safe and compliant. The existing panel's ampacity rating refers to the maximum amount of current that the panel can safely handle. Upgrading the service to 200 amps without upgrading the panel can overload the panel and create a fire hazard. The service entrance conductors are the wires that run from the utility company's transformer to the service panel. These conductors must be sized to handle the increased current of the 200 amp service. The grounding electrode conductor, or GEC, connects the service panel to the grounding electrode, which is typically a ground rod or a metal water pipe. The GEC must be sized according to the NEC table 250.66. Bonding refers to the process of connecting all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault currents. Bonding helps to prevent electrical shock hazards. A qualified electrician is licensed and insured to perform electrical work. Hiring a qualified electrician ensures that the work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes. Electrical permits are required for most electrical work. Obtaining a permit ensures that the work is inspected by a qualified inspector and that it meets all applicable codes. Electrical inspections are performed by qualified inspectors to ensure that electrical work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. Taking precautions when working with electricity can help to prevent electrical shock and fires. The size and type of service entrance conductors must be appropriate for the 200 amp service. Copper conductors are more conductive than aluminum conductors, so they can be smaller in size for the same ampacity. The insulation on the service entrance conductors must be rated for the voltage and temperature of the installation. The grounding electrode system must be properly installed and connected to the service panel. The grounding electrode system provides a path for fault currents to flow safely to the ground. The bonding of all metal parts of the electrical system must be properly installed. Bonding helps to prevent electrical shock hazards. All electrical connections must be tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating and fires. All electrical work must be done in accordance with the NEC. Following the NEC ensures that the electrical installation is safe and compliant. A 200 amp service upgrade typically requires replacing the meter socket, service panel, service entrance conductors, grounding electrode system, and bonding. The cost of a 200 amp service upgrade can vary depending on the complexity of the installation. Obtaining multiple quotes from qualified electricians can help to ensure that you are getting a fair price. Remember that safety is paramount when working with electricity. A qualified electrician will ensure the job is done correctly.